In April of this year, I made a video that I'm still very proud of to this day about new technologies coming to smartphones and other mobile devices, and it was truly fascinating stuff. So today, we're upping the ante with 5 more incredible technologies coming to mobile devices, starting with new materials. For as long as many of us can remember, phones have been built with glass, which is a great material. It's premium feeling, it's way more scratch resistant than plastic, and it just works for most people. But it hasn't quite stood the test of time. Glass is very prone to cracking and shattering, leaving most people with no choice but to add unnecessary bulk to their phone with the case. And the fact that glass is a fingerprint magnet means that once you've started using your phone, you can never really get it to look brand new again. But this is changing. Companies are taking note of the weaknesses of glass, using a matte finish on the back of their phones. You still get the advantages of glass, but with the bonus of having a slick, smooth to the touch surface that feels way more secure. And as for the front of the phone, materials like sapphire glass are being used to offer unrivaled scratch resistance. Now let's move on to the displays of our phones. For the longest time, everyone and their grandma have told you that their phone is bezel-less, edgeless, or all screen. It's this idea that the entire front of your phone is one complete, uninterrupted experience. But that's not true. We've always needed to reserve space for the front camera, from hole punch cutouts to unsightly notches to whatever the heck this is.
Bruh.
But this is changing, and it's changing big time. ASUS has kind of been a quiet player in the smartphone space, but for a couple of years now, they've been making phones with flip-up camera systems, where the back camera system is attached to a hinged motor mechanism, and when you want to take a selfie, it moves the back camera system to the top of the phone. It's absolutely genius because, in addition to having a completely uninterrupted screen, you also get the great quality of the back camera on the front. But it gets even more exciting when we add the second key element to a truly seamless experience, which is real edge-to-edge screens. And these have actually existed since 2014. Sharp came out with a wildly popular aqueous crystal phone, with a screen that truly covered every bit of the phone, minus the chin at the bottom. And this looked absolutely insane. But we can eliminate that chin by using that flip camera mechanism, but also bending back the screen. Apple pioneered this in 2017 with the iPhone X, where the screen was bent back a little to the inside of the phone so that connection cables wouldn't interfere with the viewing experience, and there would be no unnecessary chin at the bottom of the screen. Okay, in the last episode of this series, I briefly touched on how mobile gaming is getting good. But since that video, we've seen even more evidence of this. The console gaming community is massive. Hardcore gaming consoles like the Xbox and PlayStation have become hard to beat with their blazing speed and big budget games that really immerse you in the experience. Well, for the most part. But with phones, the potential to rival and even beat that experience is absolutely huge. Samsung phones can already play Xbox games at rocket speed, and there's promise for other phones too, with game studios hard at work on games designed for mobile phones. The mobile user base is massive, and now with 5G everywhere, you can play online multiplayer games with no lag or latency, all from your phone. Plus, the screen sizes on phones are leaping up in size, so you can still fit everything you need on a device potentially more powerful than your console in your pocket, ready to be taken absolutely anywhere. But you've waited long enough. It's time to talk about my favorite thing coming to phones, and it has to do with batteries. Our current batteries used in phones, laptops, and other devices are lithium-ion batteries, and they work well, but we've noticed some flaws with them over the years. One big one is the fact that they contain a liquid inside them that is very flammable. Lithium-ion cells travel from the anode to the cathode inside this liquid and power your device at the same time. The problem with this liquid is that it is very flammable, which is why these batteries catch on fire and even explode. And while it won't just randomly explode on you unless you're using a Galaxy Note 7 somehow, a more common issue is the fact that these batteries just don't last long. As you continuously use and charge this battery, solid dendrites start to form inside the battery, making it harder and harder for the energy to transfer through. This is why the maximum battery capacity drops by about 15% over just 2 years. But this is where the big innovation comes in, with solid-state batteries. You still have an anode and a cathode, but instead of a liquid moving inside, you have a solid. This means that dendrites don't form inside, so you'll still keep a maximum battery capacity for about 10 years, compared to the 3 or so years of the lithium-ion battery. And because they're 100% solid, you can have a battery the same physical size as our current phone batteries, but with about 4 times the battery capacity. That is ludicrous. Plus, since they don't burn up as easily, you can actually use ultra-fast charging and wireless charging without generating unnecessary heat that could potentially harm your battery. So those are just some of the things that I think will massively level up smartphones, and also why there's still plenty of reasons to be excited for what's next. This video hasn't even scratched the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what's coming on mobile phones, and it's truly an exciting future. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.